Hello, my beautiful friends. Happiest Monday. And thank you so much for coming to spend some time here with us today. I am Christy Jex. And if this is the first time we're meeting, I am so happy and honored that you're here. Welcome. Here's a big virtual hug and maybe a kiss on the cheek if you're open to that too. Okay. Are you guys ready? It is a crazy rainy day over here in Utah. But I was saying, how fitting is it? It's been scorching hot, like real hot over here. And I have fully enjoyed it because I'm a sunshine girl. I'm actually a solar panel. Like I charge up in the sun. So I have really enjoyed the heat and the sunshine, but it's kind of refreshing today to have a little bit of some cozier, cooler temperatures. So I'm enjoying it, and how fitting that we're going to be talking today about learning to dance in the rain. And it's raining. I mean, is that not like the most amazing manifestation ever? Thank you for going right along with our desires for the day. Okay, my friends, we're gonna start by taking some deep breaths and just getting present. So I wanna invite you for the next 57 minutes-ish, I wanna invite you to be fully present here. These opportunities that we have to reflect and to pause and even just to breathe are so powerful. They are so powerful, but they're even more powerful when we're fully present here right now. Because guess what? All of us have full plates, I'm guessing. The faces I'm seeing right now, I love these faces and the names, and I know every one of you is driven, and you are amazing women and men that have a lot on your plate, right? So it's tempting to just keep spinning. You're like, Christy, I can't afford 56 minutes. I gotta work, I gotta do stuff while I'm on the call. And if you do have to, of course I understand that. It's better for you to be here listening. But if you can discipline yourself and you're in a position where this works for you, to really be present and to really listen to your intuition and to be open to it and have a paper and pen ready so that you can take notes. When your intuition talks to you, guess what? You will get more out of this. It's called slowing down to speed up. This is a concept that blew my mind when I first heard it, because I was like, let's speed up to speed up. How many of you can relate to, I want to speed up to speed up? Oh, I love to speed up in every way. And like my insides just, ooh, like, let's just get stuff done. Like I'm driven and I love so many things and like there's so much to do. And how long can you sustain that? You eventually burn out, right? So the last few years, a few years ago, actually, I think it was 2018, my theme for the year was slow down to speed up, because I recognized that that wasn't a sustainable pace. And I really intentionally worked on that. And guess what, you guys? I've started to build habits of slowing down to speed up that truly have made a difference for my personal peace, but actually that showed up in results in my life in all the ways, right? So slowing down to speed up, it really is a hack for having more peace and getting more done. And it seems counterintuitive, but it really is. Okay, I want to invite you to just breathe for a minute. I want you to feel wherever you are. Feel your feet on the floor. Feel your back in the chair. Maybe rub your hands together. Rub your hands on your legs, rub your hands on your arms. Just feel that beautiful body that you're in right now. And just keep taking intentional breaths. They don't need to be crazy different breaths. Just start focusing on just your breath. Notice the sensation when you take a breath in your nose. Notice how it feels to have the oxygen going through your nose on the inside of your body. Notice how it feels to feel your lungs expanding when your breath is full. And then notice how good it feels when you breathe out. And your shoulders start to gently melt away from your ears. You notice that your jaw starts to relax a little bit. Maybe you start to feel like your insides are a little more open and peaceful. Just notice what it feels to just breathe right now. Everything that you've done up to this point today, you're thinking about it, maybe you're spinning in your mind about it, but every breath you take, You release everything up to this point more and more. So what you're seeing is you're breathing in your nose, just how it feels to be in this moment right now. You're feeling your body, you're noticing the sensations in your body, and every time you breathe out, you're breathing out everything that isn't right now. All the thoughts of this morning, this weekend, everything that's happened up to this point. Every breath you take out, you're releasing that just a little bit more. Maybe it feels good at the top of your breath to hold it for a few seconds with full lungs. And then as you slowly release that breath, you feel how effective it's just releasing everything inside of you that's tension, or even that's just this morning, yesterday, this weekend. Okay, just keep feeling that juicy breath and how good it feels to be in your body right now, in this very moment. Okay. All right, maybe just take one more deep cleansing breath. Hold it at the top. Your lungs are full. It feels really good. And then as you release, your shoulders melt completely away from your ears and your jaw just drops open. Maybe you want to keep breathing like this while we get into it. And maybe you need to audibly let some stuff out in your, like as you're releasing your breath, you kind of just like, it feels good. And maybe you can, because no one's around. And even if someone is around, you're like, yeah, I'm releasing some stuff. It feels good. Okay, from this space, I want you just to ask yourself and check in with your intuition. What do you need for the next few minutes? What do you need out of this time together? What do you want to create? What is your soul saying that you need? Maybe you need some more quiet. Maybe you need to go work out. Maybe you need to feel mad about something for a minute. Maybe you need some time with some friends. Maybe you need some connection. Maybe you need some work time and you're ready to dig in. What do you need? Maybe what emotions do you want to feel? Do you want more peace? Do you want to feel inspired? Do you want to feel a little more courageous? What is it that your intuition is telling you that you get to create in the next 50 minutes and that you want to focus on? Because what we know, what we focus on is what we create more of. It's all we see. I just got off a call where we did a visual example of this, but what we focus on is all we see, and it's what we create more of. So when we're intentional, checking in with our intuition on what we actually need and what we want to create, and then we intentionally focus on that, guess what happens? It's what we create more of. It's what we start to see, and it's what we experience. And it's this beautiful snowball effect because we are co-creators. It is my belief, and I'm going to say this right now before I get into stuff that I'm going to share. This is my opinions. This is my truth. And I in no way think that my truth is everyone's truth. It's my opinion that we are co-creators with God. I am big into manifestation, accountability, choice, and learning about our human brains so that we can harness it and lead with the heart and lead with the soul. But they work together, right? So it's my belief that we're here to learn, to grow, to love, and that we are co-creating at all times with our Creator. I believe it's Him, it's the universe, it's energy, and that it's all one, right? But we get to be in co-creation with God. It's also my belief, boom, Jill says, it's also my belief. Ooh, and this is it's uncomfortable to say this stuff sometimes, but even some of the things, and I say this with all the compassion for myself and for every single one of you, I wish I could say every one of your names, it is my belief that even some of the things that are uncomfortable for us right now, maybe something that's bringing you pain, that in some way we had a part in co-creating that. And I do not say that to get the beat up stick out, because we're going to talk about some of this today. Beat up sticks, take it and just set it in the corner for just a minute for the next 48 minutes. Look at me doing math like so fast, right? For the next 48 minutes, keep that beat up stick in the corner. The things that I'm sharing are in no way meant to beat yourself up. Rather, create awareness and accountability about our co-creative power and the reality of that everything that we're experiencing in our world right now, in some, even if it's the tiniest way, we had a part to co-create that reality that we are living. Why is that good news? If you had a part in co-creating it, what can you also have a part in? Co-creating something else. How many of you feel empowered by that? I do. I could share something really personal right now, and I'll keep it high level. This last year, I've experienced the greatest heartbreak of my entire life. My family dynamics have shifted dramatically in a way that I honestly never thought that it would happen. I got divorced. I was made aware of things that were not what I thought they were. We'll just say that, okay? And it has absolutely shattered my heart in every way. I cannot even tell you the amount of pain that I have felt in my human experience with what has gone on in my life in the last year. This is why we're talking about this today, dancing in the rain. I'm sharing this with you from a very vulnerable place because I'm working on it in my life right now. I am not sharing this with you from a place of I have it all figured out. I'm the master. I'm sharing this as a humble servant and in my purpose, because I know my purpose is to share the things I'm learning and to hear the things you're learning, and we create together, right? Even in the experience that I am having right now, a lot of people could create a lot of stories around how it's not my fault. And I do not take accountability for other people's choices. And I'm working on that because I did for a long time. How many of us have gotten used to being a little bit codependent, taking accountability for other people's choices because it helps us feel empowered that we can change it? Can anyone resonate with that? Ooh. If you are a co-creator and you are a conscious creator and you want something so bad, it can be really tempting to take accountability for other people's choices so that you can change it. Are you with me? The reason I'm sharing that is because I in no way will take accountability for the choices of my children's dad. He is a good person. I will always love him on that level. However, I am taking a look at how I am experiencing this right now. This is my reality. How in the world did I have a part to play in that? Because I did, or I wouldn't be experiencing it. Many tearful nights and dark days, my friends. Many sleepless nights about this. I'm telling you this from this super vulnerable place because I want you to know I feel you. We are all together as humans, working on becoming masterful co-creators with our creator and the universe. We are in it together. Whatever your pain is, it doesn't matter the flavor. We don't need to compare. It's not better or worse. Every one of you has pain. I know that. I know every one of you has something that might be breaking your heart right now. I know every one of you has something, at least one or two or maybe more, things that you wish you could change about your world right now. And I want to connect with you on that space and in that space and tell you, I hear you. I get it. At least a little bit. I know a flavor of the pain you might be feeling. And I want to share with you just some of the things that I've been learning for whatever it might be to serve you and your pain and your situation. Because it's all part of the human experience, isn't it? And because Guess what? Feeling pain is uncomfortable, but guess what else? Feeling is awesome. Being able to have the capacity to feel is awesome. And it's part of our human experience. And I have worked intentionally with a trauma therapy specialist, with a coach, with so many different resources on how to reframe how I see this so that I can learn to appreciate the different textures of this human experience. Okay, so this is something I want to share with you that my therapist one day, I've been working with her for 2.5 years. So even before this last year, I was working on overcoming some trauma from my childhood, from my marriage, a lot of things, right? I was already working with her for about 1.5 years when this all started a year ago, over 1.5 years ago. One thing that she shared with me is she said, Christy, I know how driven you are. I know how much you love joy. Like I can feel that about you. She knows me. And she said, I want you to start to understand. And I want you to start to appreciate these days, because it was a day when I was not in joy as we would think that it is, right? I was in a dark place, sharing very vulnerable thoughts and things that I was working to overcome. And she said, I feel strongly that you get to learn to appreciate these days as a different texture in your human experience. So that's where I want to start. It can be really tempting to make things binary. So it's either good or bad. It's either positive or it's negative. It's wrong or it's right. It's all the things. Are you feeling me? It's black and white. So that's why I get really sensitive to like toxic positivity. Like when you heard just be positive, it makes me want to throw up, because that's not real. That's not the point. It's not the point to be positive every day of our lives. Do you know what I mean? When someone we love passes away, is it appropriate to say, be positive? Does that feel like it is in alignment? Right? So what I heard her saying in that moment, it hit me so hard. What she's saying is, stop judging all the emotions. Stop trying to put it into a bucket. Stop trying to label it good or bad, right or wrong, positive or negative. That's why when people say, oh, she's so negative, it makes my bum so tight. Because I'm like, stop it. That is so harsh. That's so aggressive to call someone something like that. Labels. That's why even people will say, oh, he's so toxic. And it makes me just cringe. No, that's not what it's about. We are all humans. We are all walking alongside each other in this human experience. We all have these emotions. The point is not to be positive all the time. The point is to be intentional. The point is, what if I removed all the judgment about what I'm feeling right now, and I just sat in this and I allowed this to be a different texture in my human experience? How boring would a quilt be if it was just one fabric all the way throughout? I mean, I kind of like simple, I'll be honest. So that maybe backfired a little bit in what I was trying to say. But picture like a beautiful tapestry. Like the kind where you go to like a really beautiful hotel or something, they've got this tapestry that's got like intricate detailing and stitching and all these cool fabrics and different textures and things like that. And you just sit there and you're like, wow. Or even like a mural with all these different colors, and like some strokes are really tight and clean and others are like really loose and feathery. And you just look at all the details and you're like, wow, this is amazing. And you just study it. How boring would it be if a mural like that was just flat and there was no different textures, no different colors, and it was just flat? I want us to start to look at our lives and our emotions and our experiences in this way. So when, not if, because it's part of the human experience, to have days where you're not jumping off the walls excited. It's unrealistic to think that you can have joy the way we think joy is where we can be positive and just be bouncing off the walls 24/7. That is not reality. And guess what else? We really don't want that anyway, do we? That would get boring. It's the pendulum, right? When you think of a pendulum, it swings this way and that way. I think it was the Clark Planetarium up in Salt Lake, but they had this huge pendulum. Have you guys seen it? This massive ball that was on this big wire and a teeny little thing underneath, like a little pointer thing that would like knock over these little domino looking things as it would go throughout the day. Okay. But I remember just being in awe, watching it just gain this momentum and swing to the other side, right? I want you to start to think of these textures and these different emotions in your human experience. It's like a pendulum. It's these textures, it's different, it's beautiful, they come together, but also sometimes it serves us to swing into this other side of emotions that feel uncomfortable. We might be tempted to judge it and be like, oh no, this isn't right. I'm supposed to be happy and positive and inspiring, and I'm feeling dark and hopeless, and I'm feeling sad. Sometimes it serves for us to let that pendulum swing there. Because I want you to think of what happens. What's going to happen to that pendulum if it swings so far into this side? What happens? It's not going to stay there forever, you guys. And as we embrace this, we really start to get it. What happens when it swings to the other side? If it's clear up here and it has momentum and it starts to go and it goes all the way up into this other side, what we might call the positive emotions or joy, passion, excitement. Can it possibly stay at this side forever and always? That's not how it's designed to be. So next time you feel the weight of heavy emotions that feel like it's uncomfortable or it's something that you wish you could just not feel, you just want to be positive and be passionate and get back to excitement and all this, the quicker we as humans surrender to the emotion and we say, hey, this is appropriate for my human experience. I'm going to feel this, release the resistance, and I'm going to surrender to this emotion. Guess what happens? We allow the pendulum to swing the other way. But if we're in resistance and we're just white knuckling, no, I don't want to do that. I want to be positive. I want to be this and that. And we deny ourselves that experience to have that emotion. What happens to the pendulum? Are you with me? So embrace that sometimes feeling those emotions is just a different texture. You guys, when I internalized that, it literally changed my world. Because I started to say things differently instead of, oh, you know, I just got to be positive. It was like, I am feeling this. People would say, how are you? It's all of it. How many of you have reached out to me and said, how are you? And I say, it's all of it. I'm awesome. I'm sad. I'm brokenhearted. I'm excited. I'm hopeful. I'm depressed. It's all of it. And we can do that as humans. It's crazy how we can feel opposing emotions in the same moment. But the key, remove the judgment. Can you please write that down for me? Stop judging my emotions. And then guess what? Once we stop the judgment, guess what we can do? We can start to experience the emotions and be present with them. And then guess what happens? With practice, this is not something that's just an easy formula. As we practice this, just like learning a new language, you start practicing this, guess what happens? I'm noticing in my life right now, I'm able to process the emotions quicker. So you feel it, I am feeling this. And then you're able to say, interesting. Of course you are. That is fully appropriate for what's going on in my life right now. You stop judging the emotions. Ooh, I have chills, my friends. And you stop judging yourself for feeling them. And you stop labeling them. They're not positive and negative. They're all part of the experience. And happy day that you get to be a human with a butt crack on the planet right now, feeling emotions. How freaking awesome is that? Honestly, I think that sometimes we forget that when we feel the emotion, that's actually awesome. How many of you have ever felt numb before? I have had seasons where I felt numb. And I remember sitting there being like, how am I not feeling anything right now? Like I would hear a really spiritual song. Normally that would stir something in my heart. And I was just like, I can't feel anything. Is that the goal? To numb out the rain? Is that the goal, to avoid the emotion? Or is the goal to sit in it and be like, I am here. I am feeling hopeless. Wow, I don't love this. It's uncomfortable, but I'm going to let this sit. And I'm going to give myself permission to feel it without judgment. Then guess what happens? You and you, the relationship with you and you start to become one, and you start to trust yourself, and you start to have your own freaking back instead of judging the shit out of yourself all the time. You guys, when you start to do this, it feels good. It feels aligning. It is so juicy when you start to have your own back and you stop being your biggest critic. You shouldn't be feeling that because you're this and that. That's wrong for you to feel this. You shouldn't feel that because you're not this. That's you. When you get rid of that voice, and the voice instead sounds like, oh, my sweetheart, of course you're feeling that. Why wouldn't you? And the voice is, let's just be with this. It's not even what can we learn from it? It's not that. Instead, it's, what are you trying to tell me? Your body and your spirit, it is working to communicate with you. And so often we betray the crap out of ourselves and we judge ourselves. And we shut down that voice. Shh, stop it. I don't want to hear you. I got to just keep spinning and hustle, 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 hustle. Got to just keep going. Just got to be positive. Bull crap. You got to pause and listen and say, I hear you. You are talking to me. What do you want to tell me? I'm listening. Guess what happens when you start to practice this? You start to build this beautiful trust with yourself. You have your own back. And guess what happens inside of you and me? Peace. Peace. And my friends, this is a co-creation. Co-creation. You're God. He wants you to feel peace. But guess what? We have this thing called choice. And as much as he wants to reach into our beautiful hearts and just love us and hold us, he cannot override our choice. So when we choose to have our own back. We choose to listen to what it is our beautiful heart and body and soul is wanting to tell us, and we just pause and be still and listen to that. We build trust with ourselves. We have our own back. And God, the universe, whatever your truth is, it's all of it for me, can overwhelm us all with this peace that only comes from a divine source. But it starts with the gateway of choosing to have our own back. If we are so busy judging our emotions and calling everything that's happening, well, it's a rainy day, so I can't do this, or I can't feel that, or it's bad, sick, and wrong. And we close the gates to the divine power of peace that wants to help and support us. So utilize that choice. Get into that co-creation with your creator to have your own back. He has your back. Things are going to work out, but we just don't get it yet. And this is part of the experience to learn. Okay, so we went into some stuff. Allow the emotions. That is going to feel uncomfortable at first, my friends. I know for me, this has been an intentional practice for years as I've been in my trauma healing and all the things. And I know you are on your own journey too. It feels uncomfortable because you just want to be like, everyone's like, well, how are you? I'm so amazing. Okay. Are you? No. But I don't want to talk about it because that's bad, sick, and wrong. I'm just going to be amazing all the time. It's going to feel uncomfortable. But ask yourself, what could I say? And this is something I got clear on when I had people that loved me and care about me, knew what I was going through and my family's been going through. I want to know how you are. I'm like, I'm all of it. I'm all of it. Or I'll be honest and be like, I'm in the darkest place I think I've ever been in. Period. And I'm sitting with it. Can you hear that the message behind that is faith? The message behind that is surrender. It's trust. Because you can trust yourself and God and the universe and your journey that you won't freaking stay there. No emotion is meant to be felt for the rest of time, always without interruption. But when we sit with it, it's raining and we're dancing in the rain. We're dancing in the rain because we're allowing the rain. We're not judging the rain. It's rain. It's not sunshine, it's rain. And we see it, we own it, and we are honest with it. But then we say, guess what? I'm surrendering. Picture yourself like in the rain with your arms up like this. And you're like, I surrender. There's rain. It's a different texture of emotions in my life. It's beautiful and it hurts and it's okay. It's okay. I'm going to get through this. So can you hear how simply being honest and aligned, when people say, how are you? You don't have to say, oh my gosh, it's the worst day of my life. I mean, that's dramatic, right? The drama makes it worse. But what if you just honored this beautiful heart of yours and you just said, you know what? It's a heavy day today. I'm processing a lot. Thank you so much for caring. And you know what my tendency is? I'm processing so much, but it's going to be okay. Like I want to fix it before I even like say how I am, right? That's a tendency. It's okay. But what if we just said, yeah, it's a heavy day. I'm processing and I'm sitting with it. Thank you so much for asking. How are you? How simple and beautiful is that, my friends? It will pass. And the quicker we surrender to it, the quicker it will pass. Okay, so I want every one of us, I have to take a break and get more water. Hold up. While I am getting water, I want you to presence one thing, one either circumstance or emotion that you are experiencing that you would maybe call rain, that's heavier and uncomfortable, that you are kind of resisting. A situation, circumstance, and emotion that you're resisting because you're judging it and you don't want to feel it because it's negative or it's bad or whatever. So think about it and write that down. I'm going to get water. Okay, did you write it? Maybe it's about your business. Maybe it's about your personal life. Maybe it's about your work. Maybe it's mom life. Maybe it's with your spouse. Maybe it's with your significant other. Maybe it's a health thing. It's something, right? All of us have things that we're working on. It's just what it is. Okay. I want you to, with me, just look at that thing. And it might seem too messy. Maybe there's something that's real messy. This applies even more. Real messy that you don't even want to talk about, that you've never said out loud, that you're like, dude, that is heavy. It's a lot. I do not even want to talk about it. Write it. I want you to check in and listen to that beautiful spirit and that heart and that body of yours. Listen. Give it a mic. Okay? Maybe it is still that first thing you wrote. If you don't have anything deeper or something messier, that's okay. But get honest and listen. Okay? I have to breathe when I say this because I'm like walking it out as we speak. That messy thing, that thing that you just wrote, that you think is like beyond repair, or it's just too big or too heavy or just too much. And you feel like you just can't work through it. It's just too much. Or you feel like it's off track. Oh my gosh, if only this would have been different, then my life would be where it was supposed to be. If you're having thoughts, write it down. Is there something in your life that you feel like, dang it, that we missed it. It's past the point. Now it's over and it will never go back. I'm behind schedule. This is not how it was supposed to be. And it's bringing you pain, and it's bringing you suffering, and it's draining your energy. What is that? Okay. I want to tell you from my experience and my truth, and this has come to me so many times, especially in the last year. You might question, am I on track? Is this really the right thing? Am I sure I can do this? Is this way too messy to fix and clean? I'm telling you, that thing. This is the phrase. Yes, even that. It's okay. Yes, even that, you are on track. Yes, even that can be cleaned up and made right. Yes, even that God has. Yes, even that you have. Yes, even that you and God and the universe are going to co-create from that space, and it's the perfect space. Yes, even that thing. Put your finger on the thing you just wrote. Look down and look at that and tell yourself, yes, even that. My friends, it's not gone wrong. Nothing's gone wrong. And I'm not saying this to discount pain or to be inconsiderate of what you are going through and I'm going through. I'm saying this out of a place of faith and hope. It's not gone wrong. You're on track. It's okay. This is the journey. It is the path. It is going to work out. Even that. My friends, this is called surrender. It takes big faith. It does. And I know you can do that. I know you can co-create that. I know you can draw upon that power. And you can trust that, yes, even this, I want you to write that and circle it. So that when the rain comes, because it will, it's not going to stop. There is no reaching the top of the mountain. Because guess what? We reach the top of the mountain and guess what we see behind it? We all know there's more. That's part of the human experience. It's not going to level out or calm down. We know that. And that's okay. It's beautiful. And part of dancing in the rain is embracing that the rain is there and it's okay. That is the secret. But every time those things come up, every time you have those moments where you feel like you're off track, it's too messy, this is not right, I want you to take a breath and trust and surrender yourself, and you trust and surrender to your creator, whatever that is for you. Yes, even this. Yes, even this, it's going to work out. Yes, even this, he has it. Yes, even this. Okay, my friends, I'm going to share with you something, a tool. How many of you love to feel the feels and then have a tool? As I wipe the tears from my neck. Dude, why don't I just get some tissue? Hands are so much easier, right? Okay, I'm going to share my screen with you and I'm going to show you a tool that has 1,000,000% empowered me in my life. Do you want to see this? Please bless it pulls up here. Okay, I think it's this one. Okay. Can you guys see this? I'm going to scroll down to someone that has a camera. Stacy, Lisa, can you see what I'm showing right here? Okay, awesome. Okay. This is not going to be like an in-depth thing where you feel like you've finished learning this in this session today. This is an introduction to a tool that has absolutely empowered me to dance in the rain, okay? This is Abraham Hicks' emotional guidance scale. So basically what he's done here is he has created a scale of all the emotions. And it's kind of counterintuitive, maybe a little bit, because you're like, wait, but aren't we supposed to not judge our emotions? How are we putting them on a scale? I get it. But as humans, this is maybe how we can relate to the emotions, right? So it goes from joy, knowledge, empowerment, freedom, love, and appreciation. That's at the very top of the scale, all the way down to fear, grief, depression, despair, and powerlessness. How many of you have felt both of those emotions in your human experience? How about all of them in between? Yeah, it's part of having a butt crack, it turns out. All these things come with it, right? Okay, so the idea is anytime we feel an emotion, we can plug it into this. And it really does help us when we know kind of how we're feeling, when you can name it, right? My friend Melissa Taylor, who is like one of my dearest, closest soul sisters on the planet, she says, name it to tame it. So whatever you're feeling, look at this scale, give it a little name, nail it. That awareness and that clarity is a really good starting point so that you can start to be a conscious creator and be intentional with your emotions, right? So here we are. We're going to feel all of these emotions in our human experience. Of course, we think we always want to be here, right? We always want to be passionate. We always want to be super enthusiastic and positive and all these things. We want to be optimistic and hopeful and all these things. People think that that's where we always want to be. We all have felt that way. Oh, I just want to stay there all the time. We know that's not the reality. And we actually know that the pendulum, remember we talked about that? These things are necessary in order to feel this. And it's a tapestry. It's all the different textures. They work together to create this beautiful tapestry that is your world and your life and your experience. Okay? But it's about being intentional and utilizing the choice that we have to be intentional with the emotions that we stay with. It's not about never feeling fear. You and I will feel fear forever and always until the day that we're not humans anymore. We will at times. That's okay. But we don't have to stay in this place. Are you with me? I want you to write that down. It's not about not feeling these emotions, whatever it is for you that stands out, not feeling jealous, hatred, anger, discouraged, fear, depressed. It's not about never feeling those things. It's about not staying there. How beautiful and exciting is it to think that? Because so often we judge ourselves. I do a coaching call where I have people fill out a weekly review and they tell me what's going on. And really it's for them to hear their own self, right? And to slow down, to speed up and get clarity on where they are, what they want to create, maybe where their obstacles are, what the wins are. And so often it's what's holding me back is fear of something. Okay, cool. You felt fear. Welcome to Earth. We all feel fear, right? It's not about never feeling that. You will feel it. Embrace it. Dance in the rain with your arms up. I surrender. I feel fear. Okay, cool. Good awareness. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? That's what this is all about. So if you feel fear, that is the very, very bottom. Depression's the very bottom. Think about a time when you were depressed. It's the very bottom because there's not a lot of energy there. Are you with me? So look at this. Interesting, the anger, you would think that maybe anger would be closer to down here. Why do you think anger is right here? Maybe because there's some energy there. Oh my gosh, is it possible that anger is not the worst thing ever? What? You guys, if there's one thing I've learned about anger in the last year, it's that anger moves the needle. You've heard me say joy moves the needle. So does anger. Is that the craziest thing you've ever heard? I can tell you, and I want you to think of a time. There have been times in my life when I got angry. I like reached my boiling point and I just got friggin' pissed. And guess what happened after that? A boundary was set. A change was made. Something happened to cause a different result. Can you see how when you surrender to the anger and you let it be there for a time, it can move you into change. It can move you into a more aligned place. But see, my story about anger, I had misunderstandings from all sorts of things in my childhood, and I thought I was never supposed to feel angry. So what did I do? I denied myself that, caused all these weird things inside my body, health issues, mental health issues, all sorts of really weird things because I wouldn't allow myself to feel angry. Guess what's happened since I've allowed myself to feel angry? It has empowered me to release emotions. It has empowered me to release energy that was stored up inside my body, causing problems and keeping me stuck. So maybe right now, ask yourself, are you angry about something that you are judging yourself for? Are you angry, but you won't allow yourself to feel that, even temporarily? Is there something going on inside of you that you get to listen to? Ask yourself. And guess what? Here's another awareness I had about anger, and then we're going to get into how we use this. I love music. I love loud music with a beat. I have a Jeep mainly because it had an amazing sound system and like a built-in subwoofer. I like to experience my music. I just want to listen. I don't want to just listen to it. I want to feel it, the vibration in my entire being, right? That's just me. I have learned that certain music, a little bit of Slipknot, some Metallica. I have a whole playlist that serves me so well when I feel that anger and I know that it's there, it's energy waiting for me to release it and to learn from it and to create a shift from that. That anger for me needs a carrier. The music serves as a carrier. So I will literally be on the treadmill. For me, running is so effective at releasing anger because it's physical. I'm pounding on the ground. I'm going fast. It is so therapeutic for me to run with music in my ears that helps me. It's a carrier for me to feel the anger and then to release it. Because when I feel it and then I release it, guess what happens? It goes away. It's so amazing. I remember one time after one of my sessions on the treadmill, I just sobbed. That felt so good. It's gone now. Like I went into the gym so full of that emotion and I allowed it. And I was like, of course you feel that. Of course you feel that. Let's work on this. What do you want to tell me? I'm listening. And then I wrote some boundaries that I was going to set, and I did. And then I ran it out, and I physically was able to get that energy and let it come out of me. And I realized anger needs a carrier for me. Music, physically working out is my favorite carrier for anger because I can go to the gym for an hour. I leave absent of the anger. Are you seeing how this is beneficial? What if you deny yourself the anger? Nope, you can't feel that. That's bad, sick, and wrong. You're a bad person if you feel angry. What happens to the anger? That energy inside of you. What happens to it? It makes you sick physically, mentally. It gets stuck. It makes you feel depressed, and you start to split, and you deny yourself, and you betray yourself, and that trust with you goes away. And it causes all sorts of other misalignments. My friends, allow it. Anger needs a carrier, in my opinion. Write it down. What's a song that gets your energy going so that you can physically find a way to get that moving through you, and then you can be absent of it. And then you can get to a point where you can work to be intentional with the emotions that you feel. But I'm telling you, in my experience, I have never been able to shift. So in this scale, I've never been able to move up the scale, so to speak, without finding a way to physically carry that emotion out of my body and my spirit. It is a crucial part of this for me. Okay, so here's how you use this. I want every one of you to look at this scale. Oh, I gotta go potty because of all the water, but I can do this for another 5 minutes. Woo! Here we go, guys. Okay, look at this scale. I want you to kind of check in with how you are right now. How are you feeling right now? Are you feeling overwhelmed? Are you feeling bored? Maybe you're kind of hopeful. Maybe you're feeling passion. Everybody wants to feel that. Maybe you're feeling blame or worry. Ooh, maybe you're feeling some rage. What about jealous? Are you feeling grief and depressed? Maybe you're feeling powerless. Where are you? Write it down. The number and the word. Okay? Maybe you're feeling joy. Honestly, you guys, you know what's crazy? In this moment right now, I am feeling joy. Even while I'm talking about the greatest heartbreak of my life and like the really vulnerable stuff inside my heart, I feel joy. Crazy. What if joy is simply being present with whatever you're feeling? Ooh, does that feel good to your spirit? It feels so good to me. I did a whole call on joy and we kind of talk about this. So my YouTube, I don't like promote my YouTube channel. I don't even know how to do that or like whatever, but it's a good way to download things. So if you want to find that about joy, go find it. It's public. We talk about that. But I am feeling passion. I'm feeling, can you see, like I'm fired up, but maybe like last night I was feeling some of this. And we're going to go fluctuate all throughout the day. And the time frames are going to be different. But wherever you are, name it to tame it. And then I want you to look maybe just like 3 or 4 above it. So let's just say right now, you're feeling overwhelmed. Instead of going, okay, right now I'm going to go from overwhelmed to joy. Does that feel like a match? Does that feel aligned to jump from overwhelmed to joy just like that? Does that feel real? Does that feel authentic? I don't think so, right? So what if you said, okay, I am overwhelmed. I would love to feel just content, right? Like 3 or 4 above where you are. So instead of, if you're feeling depressed, instead of being like, I'm going to go from depressed to joy, you go, okay, I'm depressed. How about if I get to anger? I would love to have some energy behind what I'm feeling, because that energy can move the needle and cause change, right? So instead of trying to jump all the way up, you're like, hey, so here's the question. What do you want to feel? Only 3 or 4 above what you're doing. I want you writing this stuff down so that you have a formula so that you can use this and practice it, okay? So what do you want to feel? Let's go back to overwhelm. Maybe you just want to feel content. You want to be out of overwhelm and just feel like, okay, everything's just, it's okay. I'm not excited about it, but it's okay, right? So then you ask yourself this question, write it down. What does this version of me, what thoughts does she think? Okay? So, and the next part, what actions does she take? What thought does she think? What actions does she take? So if you're overwhelmed and you're like, I just want to feel content. Okay, the version of me that's content, the thoughts that she feels or that she thinks are, yeah, okay, this is a lot, but it's okay. That's the thought she thinks. She doesn't think, oh my gosh, I'm going to die if this to-do list doesn't get done today. She thinks, okay, there is a lot to do, but at the end of the day, it's going to be okay. None of this is life-threatening. Okay, that might be a thought that she thinks. The version of me that's content, what does she do? So right now I'm overwhelmed. If I was content, what actions would I be taking? Okay. Maybe I would dump out my brain on a piece of paper. so I can see everything that's overwhelming me, maybe that's something that she would do. Are you with me? Okay. And then just maybe you come up with 2 or 3 of these, and then you simply embody that. You simply start to think the thoughts. You simply start to do the things. But here is the key. You do not rush the process. If you are overwhelmed, you sit with it for a minute. You allow yourself to be present with that emotion. And then you will know when you're ready to shift. How many of you have had something happen? I'm going to shut this. Do you guys understand this? You can Google. I just Googled this. So Google Abraham Hicks emotional guidance scale. And I want you to practice this. It's a practice. It's not going to be something that you nail right away. It is a practice, but with practice, you will get good at this. And as you get good at this, guess what's going to happen? Can you imagine being in alignment with your emotions, being present, and then having a tool to intentionally shift yourself in an authentic way? Is that not beautiful? How's that going to look in your days moving forward? How's that going to change the way you show up in relationships, in your business, in your work, with your children, with everybody that you associate with? How's it going to feel in your heart to know that you can handle the emotions that come up and you can surrender and you can process through it and then cause a shift when you're ready? The key, back to the key. My friends, it is so uncomfortable sometimes to sit with emotions, isn't it? Ha! Holy crap. I love to hack everything in my life. How can I make it simpler? How can I make it like automated, simple, faster, efficient? And guess what? This is what I've learned over the last year. And I'm going to friggin' coin this phrase and I'm going to write a book about it. There is no hack for healing. There is no hack. When you are using this emotional scale, give yourself the time you need. Trust yourself. It is uncomfortable to sink into depression and let yourself be there. Because the story our brains might say is you're never going to get out of this. If you get into that depression, you'll be this way forever. My biggest story, if I allow the anger, it's going to change who I am. I wrestled with that hard. It's going to make me an angry person, and I'm not an angry person, right? So all these stories come up, but you get to trust yourself. I get to trust myself, trust my creator, that I can move through this emotion, and it will come and it will be here and it will be uncomfortable. But guess what else? As I do that, it will go. Allowing it is the key to moving through it. Are you with me? Let yourself be with the emotion. Let yourself sit in it. Do not try to shift before you have fully experienced the emotion. And then when you're ready, and you guys know when you're ready, are you with me? You cry it out. Have you had a day where you just cried it out and you were like, I am so depressed tonight. I just need to cry hard. And guess what? Crying is one of the best ways to move that energy out of your body. Cry it out. Get mad. Do something to move it. But then guess what? You wake up the next morning and you're like, okay, I think I've actually processed through that and I'm ready to create a shift. You can trust yourself. When you're ready to create a shift, pull out your scale, do the exercise. You say, here's where I am, 3 or 4 above where I am. Ooh, it would feel like relief to be content. What emotion would feel like relief from whatever you're feeling? Write that down because I forgot to put that in as we were doing the exercise. It's not what do I want to be, because of course we always think we want to be joy, passion. What emotion that's only 3 or 4 above where you are would feel like relief? So if you're overwhelmed, content is going to feel like relief from overwhelm. And then you ask yourself, what thoughts does that version of me think? And what actions does she take? And you simply start to embody it one baby step at a time. It's not going to be, there's no hack, there's no rushing. And guess what? Slowing down to speed up with this stuff is that it is the hack. Being present with it is the thing that will help you move through it. Oh my gosh. Okay. My friends, it's 12:02. Hi. So in just bringing this all together, I want you to, what's your biggest takeaway? What is your intuition, your heart telling you is your next step? What was your aha moment? Type it in the chat. I would love to see. Or if you want to unmute for a second, I want to take just a minute and just hear from maybe one person. What was your biggest takeaway? Or something that you know is your next step? Feeling emotions, allow yourself to feel it. Yes. And that actually can feel like joy. Isn't that ironic? Allowing yourself to feel anger is actually joy. Isn't that crazy, you guys? Oh my gosh, I love it. It's so beautiful. Okay. Dance it out. Yes. Allow yourself to feel every emotion. Yes. Delta's like, could I get my butt crack removed, please? Yes. And then guess what you would be? You would be a cone head. Have you ever like seen cone heads? They don't have butt cracks. So there's the hack. Just turn into a cone head and then you just get to like circumvent this human experience. I don't grieve properly. I need to allow all the feelings and not hide it. Absolutely. Okay, but let's not put the judgment, you don't grieve properly. You're learning. You're a human. What you're doing is perfect. New awareness equals a new way. Well, just one baby step at a time. Yes, not being ashamed by emotions. We grow during these storms. Feel all the feels and move on. Give yourself grace. Love yourself. Amen. So beautiful. Processing the next steps to climb the steps to the emotion I want to be at instead. Yes. What would feel like relief? And you gradually work yourself up. This is so beautiful. Okay, my friends, I just want to share with you that your creator loves you. We are created for joy. And guess what? Joy looks different than I think we think it does. What if we had joy in surrendering to this human experience? That's what, to me, dancing in the rain is. Surrendering to the experience and just being in it, immersed in it. It's beautiful, and it is a beautiful disaster. It's a mess, and it's so beautiful. We can do this, my friends. We are in this together. Do you know that? Every single one of us is in this together. Nobody's pain is greater than anyone else's. It's different flavors, but we all experience pain. We're all working through this together, and we are in it together, and we're going to be okay. And even this, it's okay. God has it. You have it. Trust your back. Have your own back. Trust yourself. And everything that comes to you, you can get through it. I love you, my friends. Thank you for being here. I just honor that you would spend time with me and let you into this sacred space in that beautiful heart of yours. Thank you. Let's create a beautiful day and create a day, whatever it is, right? I love that. Bye, guys.